Alright, so I started this project. This is my Backhoe, my John Deere 310D. I started it and was thinking, just get it done, but it turned out to be quite a mess. I had as you can see, a cable or a wire that shorted on me and melted. This is my hot wire coming in from my switch, which is off right now. But so what my plans are, these were the grounds I had. I know I'm all over the place, but these are the grounds I had that grounded the lights, the little dash lights for the gauges. Gauges all work. Hour meter, which was working until it shorted, until I had the short, which I don't know if that took out that hour meter or not, but it doesn't matter because that hour meter has fogged over and you can't see the numbers anyway. So I'm going to be replacing that. I'm going to try to go back to the original round one. I'll order one on Amazon maybe. We'll see. So what I did was I went down to the parts store and I got me a fuse block. Now this is a little overkill. I only want to fuse I'm going to fuse the lights to the gauges, and then I have my lights up on the roof there, cab, that I would like to fuse as well. So technically that'd only take two, but future plans are all four of these are wired together right now. I'd like to get those wired separately on two switches, which I have two switches in the dash. Why I didn't wire it that way the first time, I don't know. But so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount this in here somewhere, probably as best I can in as flat a spot as possible. It's plastic, it'll break easy if you don't if you're not careful. I don't want to really have to make anything for it to fit. It's got good solid frame coming up here into the steering column. Yes, I cut this out. Main reason was to access this easily. It was a pain to reach down inside there and get all the way down in and reach everything you needed. I do plan to either patch this back in, I have the piece that I took out, or make some sort of a hinge for it with a latch of some sort. I will figure that out later, but for now I had to get this wiring figured out because, like I said, I burned some wire up. Everything quit working, obviously. The tractor still ran. Everything as far as the lights and some of the gauges and things quit working. So I've put myself a new master switch in, and craziest thing is, some reason the wire coming out of the alternator went all the way back to the key switch on the ignition side of the key switch. So with this is diesel, and there's a wire that goes over to the injector pump, and it has a solenoid on there. When you shut the power off to it, the solenoid turns and shuts the fuel off, which in turn kills the motor, stops the motor. So with that alternator wire going back to the key side, the key side, which I'm saying the hot side is the battery, the key side is when you turn the key on, you have power to everything that you have wired to that switch. So with that, which is now that white wire that comes out of the alternator and loops back to the positive going to the starter, with that wire hooked up to the key side of the switch, caused that as long as the engine's running, the alternator is creating voltage. So with that, you're not shutting that valve off in your injector pump, which in turn your engine won't stop. So I couldn't figure it out for the longest time, so I put in a splice right here, and I'd just come out and pull that splice apart, and that would stop the engine. So anyhow, what I'm doing now is I want to get this all wired properly so it looks good underneath the dash that nobody's ever going to see. But that doesn't matter. I want it to work right. And this is my amperage wire, which is no longer hot for some reason, so I got to figure out why. Other than, oh, maybe it is hot. I'll double check. I don't know where that, I'm not sure where that wire was going, but I'll double check and make sure the ground came undone. It's possible that's why. Or that is the ground. Yep, the ground is hooked up, so I just need to hook a positive wire up to it. So that's what I did, I unplugged that. That's why that wasn't working. When I found out I had that burnt wire, I must have unplugged it. But I mean, I do have a couple of fuses here that were factory fuses, and I owned them, and they do work. But they're really in an inconvenient spot, and I think I like the idea of using the automotive spade bits better, or spade fuses better, and then I can have one ground and then pigtail all my grounds out everywhere I need to go. So that's what I'm going to work on. Alright, so what we got now, you probably saw my little, I don't know if you guys could catch it in the time lapse or not, but I had grounds for each of the lights. The lights for the gauges, I put them somewhere, but anyhow, I grounded each of the lights, and I think I did it backwards. I popped a fuse, but then oh, there they are. Also, these bulbs were all burned out, so it must be when I shorted that wire before I did all this. When the wire shorted out, it must have blew them bulbs too. So, but I do have As you can see, the voltmeter is working. When I fire it up, that should change. That should show charging. That is working, and all my lights are working. So for now, that's where I'm going to leave it. I've got to get some more little bulbs, little automotive bulbs for these, and test them. I don't know why I would have, if crossing it would have shorted that out. Maybe one of these is shorted. Maybe that's where my problem lied. So I guess what I'll have to do is get my meter and ohm each one of those out and make sure. I'm going to leave these ground wires inside here. They're not going to hurt nothing. I got to redo my oil pressure gauge. It's a little bit off. Eventually I do want to get a new temperature gauge, which that one works, but as you see, it starts at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and this tractor hardly ever gets that. Once in a while in the 80-90 degree day, if I'm out working it, it will come up off of 130. It'll come off that peg, and barely. So I want to get one that starts at 100. They do have them down at the automotive store, so maybe I'll get them. But for now, this is good enough. Got myself quite a mess to clean up. So I'm gonna throw this back together and do another test, make sure it works. All right. So far, that wiring job is complete for me. We're just going to fire it up now. It's going to be loud, so I'll talk now, but firing it up. My toolbox is just a mess. Yeah, we'll fire it up, make sure we're getting the right voltage. This machine, you have to idle it up a little bit, and you'll start seeing the difference. Make sure my oil pressure gauge still works, which it should. None of the lights in there are going to work until I get the bulbs figured out. So yeah, here we go. Voltage is on. That is exactly what I was looking for. Shuts right off with the master switch like it should. Lights work. That's what shuts the fuel off. So yeah, success. I'm gonna check that out too. All right, I think that's gonna end this video. I have got to finish. I've already got my fascia and soffit done up along that. Now I get to go up on the second floor, finish that. That's the old board from the log home. I haven't really done a whole lot of videoing. Haven't done much of any videoing on that house, but that's been a couple year project, and we're getting right down to it. I had to stop, telling you this is way off track, but I had to stop working on the fascia and soffit last fall because winter came, obviously, and so yeah, I'm getting that finished up. So the outside housework will be done. And then I get to focus more on this. I have the skid steer in the barn yet to finish. This video is probably going to be way out of whack from any of the others because obviously our garden is planted now and trees are all planted. So hopefully I'll get those videos edited. I have a lot of editing to do and I'm new at it, so we'll get after it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little video on wiring this thing. I don't know if it'll help anybody, but it helped me. So thanks a lot and take care.